Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know that drill. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below. All right, I'm over at the New York Post. I'm in a database, and I'm looking at this article from 3 years ago, and it's called "Have Their Numbers," and I'm just looking at individuals that or how should I say this? I'm just looking at quarterbacks and how scouts analyze quarterbacks. And one of them, and this is important because this year is not 2020, right? Where you could just buy and hope and your value, your investment value would go up if you're speculating a card. Now, in my opinion, quarterbacks can make a lot of money for you. However, you have to be very selective now in what you're buying. And you have to obviously buy when the price dips and it's at a relatively decent value. Now, it's not what it was in 2019. However, there's some metrics that you can use or I can use. I'm not telling you should definitely use all of these metrics, but you should be aware. And it's quite interesting. I know some people bash analytics, but there are a few aspects that you can look at without going the Moneyball route. Okay, let's look at one of the metrics, and most of the people know this. Most of the top QBs are big. It helps them see clearly over the line and down the field. Big QBs are also tougher to take down, as Ben Roethlisberger has shown over the past 14 seasons. Nevertheless, Russell Wilson and Drew Brees have shown that smaller quarterbacks can succeed. Now, the thing is with shorter quarterbacks, I remember Rex Grossman with the Bears was a short guy, and they were unable to win the Super Bowl. And if you look down here, I can't believe I have to zoom in. This is such a weird way of looking at this article. But anyways, the other aspect, I didn't even notice this until I was just searching for articles about, it's actually the Wonderlic Score, which I've talked about. But here's another thing that I didn't even know this: hand size. The interesting thing in looking at the current NFL players is that two of the smaller players in the league have big hands. Brees and Wilson are both examples of shorter quarterbacks having success. Both have 10.25-inch hands. Coincidence? Mayfield has been compared with those two because of his height, but his hands are just 9.25 inches. Should that scare off cold weather teams? That is really interesting. And here's the thing: hand size has become a measurement of QBs in the draft in recent years. Teams believe big hands mean better ball security, particularly in a cold weather environment. Okay, so they're questioning Jared Goff. He had smaller hands compared to the rest. So the biggest, Dak, Drew Brees, like it was said, he's a shorter guy compared to everyone else. When he was playing, he had biggest hand size. That is really interesting. Same with Russell Wilson, 10.25. Stafford, who's in the game this week, 10 inches, right? Smallest, you got A-Rod here, 9.75. You also have Mahomes. It didn't have Mahomes in this article, but his is about, 9.25. Burrow is 9. So look at this, Josh Allen, who's playing 10.18. Kind of fits him playing in Buffalo, right? Better ball security in a very cold environment. Now, here's one aspect that I look at the most, and that is the Wonderlic Score, okay? So the Wonderlic is an intelligence test first used in the NFL by Hall of Fame Cowboys coach Tom Landry. There's debate as to how many teams can learn from it, but it is still used by the NFL. Well, At the time it was, now it's not. And QBs are expected to do well on it. 2 former Jets both scored 48 on the Wonderlic, the highest known for quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick and Greg McElroy. Okay, so the thesis is if you are a quarterback, you want to look for, if you're a team, you want to look for a QB that has the highest Wonderlic score. And the thing is that this keeps on playing games with me here. Alex Smith has a not 40. Yeah, he has a 40 Wonderlic score. You have Stafford 38, and then on the low end, they say low end. I don't think it's low. I think it's a decent amount. It's Drew Brees at 28, Russell Wilson 28, and then the list goes on. So the thing is that if you are a quarterback below a 21, that means you have below average intelligence according to the Wonderlic score. Ideally, you want a quarterback with at least a Wonderlic score of 24 and 25. And I'm going to show you some of the Wonderlic scores of the QBs playing in the next 2 games or next 4 games. Okay, other metrics they use is winning percentage in college. And if you look at it, Aaron Rodgers had an 800% winning percentage. Granted, I don't think he played all of the time. He was a backup for some time, so that's the other thing. So the more games you play, obviously the lower percentage you'll have. And also Tom Brady had an 800% winning percentage rate at Michigan. So those 2 guys are in the playoffs, right? None of these guys, Brees is retired, Wilson isn't playing. There's Josh Allen. Josh Allen had a 600% or 0.600 or 0.615 winning percentage, which is okay. So success in college could mean that the guy is successful in the NFL. They also look at college interceptions. Fewest interceptions. It's like Brady. He didn't play a lot, though. A-Rod, he didn't play a lot. If you look at Josh Allen threw a lot of picks in college. Granted, he started more games than others. So we're just looking at some of the stats that coaches use to draft people. But I just broke it down by the starting quarterbacks of today. And it's quite interesting how these guys lined up as this loads up. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that individuals, if you're throwing big money, you have to definitely look at just some basic things. And I just broke it down today. And the most important thing that I look at is the Wonderlic score, okay? And I just also looked at the height. And if you just want to look at the game today, so you have Cincinnati versus the Titans. So Burrow, if you look at his Wonderlic score, 34. Tannehill, 34. Their height, both 6 feet 4 inches, okay? You have a game tonight, Jimmy G with the 49ers and A-Rod. Jimmy G's Wonderlic score 29. A-Rod 35. They're both 6'2", okay? Game tomorrow, Stafford versus Brady. So the Rams versus the Bucks, rematch of an earlier season game this year. Stafford 38, Brady 33. Stafford's 6'3", Brady's 6'4". The game tomorrow night, Josh Allen 37, 6'5". Mahomes, Wonderlic score 24, and the height is 6'3". So if you just look at this, all of these guys have a Wonderlic score above 21. Okay. The lowest guy is Mahomes. And I said that usually you want guys with the lowest to be 24, 25. Mahomes fits that mold. And then on top of it, Mahomes is a fantastic athlete. So just because he may not be the smartest guy on the field, he's not dumb. Just because he's not the smartest guy, well, at the end of the day, his athletic ability allows him to prosper. I mean, he was drafted, I believe, by the Detroit Tigers in the first or second round as a starting pitcher. Okay. So Mahomes grew up around or grew up playing different sports, which makes him a very unique individual. And I remember he could play basketball too. He was doing pickup basketball, and then the coach just said, "No, you're not doing pickup basketball." So, like I said, you don't have any low Wonderlic score QB. And I saw recently some dude was buying a Jalen Hurts RPA card, very scarce, and they put $30,000 in it. And I'm thinking to myself, Jalen Hurts, well, I do, he is a likable guy. Remember what happened with the Washington football team stadium? I don't know if it's called RFK, wherever that is. The people fell down. He went and helped those guys get up. He was much nicer than the staff of the Washington football team. So I feel that, or I believe Jalen Hurts is a good guy. I have a good impression of him based on that. Now, in terms of investing, I wouldn't invest in him. He has a low Wonderlic score, right? It sounds, some people may say it's narrow-minded, but if I'm investing in a guy, I want to make the most money, right? And there are a few other players. There's Kyler Murray. I did a video on Kyler Murray saying that it's crazy to buy his unsealed wax packs a few weeks ago. People were throwing down like thousands of dollars on it. And I said, this is crazy. He is a short guy. He's like, what, 5'10", and his Wonderlic score is in the low 20s. So if you deal with a defense like the Rams with Von Miller and Aaron Donald, you're probably going to get smoked. And that's what happened. And then I see people like throwing money in Lamar Jackson. People threw, I believe, $100,000 in Lamar last year. And I'm thinking, okay, this guy's a Wonderlic score of 13. While he may be a great athlete, I don't think he will be able to go deep in the playoffs. That's just my opinion. So throwing money into him, that much money, is not the wisest investment or speculation. So just based on this, right? And if we have a down market, if we see cards go down crazy, one guy I definitely want to look at is Burrow. Okay, Burrow, Wonderlic 34, height 6'4". The only criticism someone may have for him is that his hand size is 9 inches. And so playing in a cold environment like Cincinnati may not be conducive, but he's shown that he's played pretty well so far. And his success at LSU, despite having that injury in year 1 with the Bengals. So yeah, this is just basic information. And I always talk about, the Wonderlic score, and I don't see anyone talking about this, but in my opinion, just even looking at these 8 QBs today, they all have a Wonderlic score above 21. And they are all at least 6'2". And I think that's a recipe to making a decent amount, not making a decent amount, but it just, in my opinion, the odds become more in your favor. That doesn't mean you're going to make money. Now, granted, the markets are still overheated. So, like I said, next downturn, I want to definitely look at some of these QBs with high Wonderlic scores and those that are very tall. And, the thing about Baker Mayfield, some people said that Baker Mayfield was short, and that's why he wasn't able to succeed the way that the other quarterbacks have. So that's just an interesting note. Let me know what you guys think. The other thing is Josh Allen seems to have a lot of good things going for him. Okay, Wonderlic Score 37, his height 6'5", so you could definitely see above his lineman. His hand size is what, 10 1/8, and yeah, and he can run. Now, I don't think Josh Allen will be able to run the way he does in the next 5 to 7 years, but I do believe he has the ability to be an in-the-pocket passer. Now, he may not have some of his targets that he has now. He's going to have to adjust because of salary cap issues. But at the same time, you can see Josh Allen. This is why people wanted to probably draft Josh Allen. Tall guy too. So it is what it is, guys. So just some basic things to look at when speculating QBs. Buy and hope those days are over. Now you got to look at certain metrics, not too complicated, and it just takes, 15, 20 minutes of doing research, in my opinion. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Comment down below, guys. Thanks. Bye.